Welcome back to my channel, party people. I'm Jamila, this is JemilaBeReadin, and today is the start of yet another new series. What's new, really? But today, we're starting this series around celebrity book clubs. I find them to be so fascinating, and I think many people have realized that they are booming right now. It feels like everybody has a book club right now, and I just find this phenomenon to be very interesting. We have the likes of like an Oprah book club, which clearly had such an impact on the publishing industry, especially at its heyday. And then we have like Reese's book club, which of course she also has her company, her film company, her production company that's also doing adaptations of a lot of these books too. So it's really fascinating to see, but we're seeing a lot of like smaller celebrities. I don't know, smaller is the right word, but other celebrities, people who I honestly wouldn't even expect to have a book club, starting a book club. So I just kind of wanted to do a little experiment where I read a selection of books from these celebrity book clubs. Each video is going to be a new celebrity book club where I'm going to try to read 3 to 4 books, hopefully based off of my own TBR. I've like written down like books that I already own that were picks, and I'm going to go from there. And today we are starting with Amory. It's just one thing that got me tripping. It's just one thing that got me tripping. It's just one thing that got me tripping. It's just one thing that I know. Which is just so much fun. I remember getting one of her YouTube videos recommended to me. I want to say like maybe 2 years ago now, and I was like, wait, is that Amory? And I was pleasantly surprised just kind of seeing her selections. It seemed really interesting. I also love that she is pro-Palestine and is advocating for that a lot too. She even actually had the 100-year war on Palestine as one of her picks like in 2021. So she's about that life. I love it. I respect it. So I wanted to start off with her and see where this leads us. I think I'm going to do, I don't know how many of these videos I'm going to do, probably at least 5. I have at least 5 celebrities in mind that I want to read from, and I want to end it with a conclusory video where I kind of just talk about my thoughts about celebrity book clubs and my conclusions having read all of these books. So that will happen at the end, and I'll probably kind of talk about my thoughts about celebrity book clubs throughout all of these videos, but it is fascinating. I know The Cut put out an article about celebrity book clubs, I want to say a couple months ago. I felt a little, I don't know, disappointed by the article. Like, it didn't really say much of anything. So I was like, let me take matters into my own hands. I did have this idea like a year ago initially, and it was just going to be one video where I read the most current selection from like a bunch of different celebrity book clubs, but that didn't come to fruition. And I also thought it would just be more fun to make this a series and also like get a chance to read more books in each of these book clubs to get a better sense of the picks and my thoughts on it. So that's enough rambling. This is a very rambly intro. Let's talk about Amory's book club. So, okay, I made this note a while ago, so I'm not sure if these numbers are still super accurate, but at the time that I made this note, she had about 40 picks. It might be a little bit more than that now. She started in 2019, which was interesting because I feel like I didn't really start seeing a lot about her book club until the last few years, but started in late 2019. There are 6 books that I have already read that were picks, and those books were Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, Luster by Raven Leilani, Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark, and Pure Color by Sheila Heti. And almost all of these books were 5 stars for me, which makes me excited about this. I'm hoping that means we have similar tastes, that I'm going to have a lot of luck with these books. Nothing to See Here, Luster, Parable of the Sower, and Ring Shout were 5-star reads. The Only Good Indians was a 4-star read for me. Still really love that book. And Pure Color was a 3-star question mark, because if you've been following me for a while, you'll know I still don't know what to make of that book. It was truly one of the most bizarre reading experiences I've had. I still don't know what my thoughts are, but I think I landed on a 3-star. So for the most part, the books that I've already read that were Amory picks were hits for me. So that's making me excited about the rest. I have 8 books that are picks that are already on my TBR. So these are the books that I'm going to read from. I'm not going to read all 8. I'm only going to pick 4. And the books that I'm going to pick for this video are going to be Woman Eating by Claire Coda, which I believe is like a literary fiction with a speculative twist, like a literary take on vampires. I'm going to choose The Past is Red by Catherine M. Valenti. I have read one other book by this author. That was Comfort Me with Apples. I gave that one 4 stars and I really liked it. It was so interesting. So I'm excited for The Past is Red, and it's short, which is nice. I'm also going to choose The Last Story of Mina Lee, which has been on my TBR for quite some time now. So it's good that I'm finally going to get to it. And I think my understanding is that it's like kind of multi-generational family saga, like mother-daughter relationship, which seems up my alley. And the final book that I will choose is The Autobiography of Skin, which is a more recent addition to my TBR, but I'm still very excited. Again, another multi-generational kind of family story from Eastern Texas. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see where this video is going to go. I'm hoping that we're going to have great luck with these books. And let's go on to the vlog portion. Hello, I am coming to you to talk about the first book for this video, and that is The Last Story of Mina Lee. I'm actually reading this on my Kindle. I was able to get an ebook version from Libby. So I think I'm about 10% of the way through this book, so not much to report. I will say I'm not loving it so far. I feel like this should be a book that really works for me, but the writing style is kind of irritating me and it's kind of making it difficult for me to get through, but I'm going to push through. I'm gonna try to at least make it to like 30-40% and reevaluate from there. But in case you don't know what this book is about, it's following seems like multiple timelines. So we have the present, which I believe is 2014. We have Margot, who is helping her friend move to LA for a new job, and she's originally from LA as well, and her mother still lives there. And she is like driving down with her friend, and she keeps trying to get in contact with her mom, but it just keeps going to voicemail. And she arrives and goes to her mother's home and finds her, and she is not with us anymore. Then we get a flashback to her mother, Mina, first arriving to America from South Korea in the 80s. And I think it's probably going to flash back and forth between the present with Margot and then the past with Mina, her mother's life story. It seems like they have like they had a complicated relationship with each other. I feel like this should be a book that I like really enjoy. All of this setup seems like it should be something I should enjoy, so I'm hoping it'll turn around and I'll really like it, but we'll see. I'll come back to you when I've made a little more progress. I come to you with an update. I decided to DNF The Last Story of Mina Lee. I only got 16% of the way through, but I really tried to push through. I just was not feeling this, and it's a little bit disappointing because it feels like it should be the type of book that I love. Complicated mother-daughter relationships, diaspora story, immigrant story. I feel like all of these things are usually a good combo to make a good book for me. But unfortunately, like I said, I think in the last clip, I really am not vibing with the writing style of this book. It feels also very tell and not show, I just feel like I'm not getting a good sense of these characters. I feel very detached from the characters as well. And again, I know I didn't make it that far, but honestly, I'm fighting for my life with a reading slump, and this was not helping, and I just don't think I would have ended up liking this regardless. So I'm just gonna DNF it, and it is what it is. Very unfortunate. I think the cover is very pretty. I love the like orange pink gradient, but yeah, unfortunate. However, a book that is going really well for me right now is The Past is Red by Catherine M. Valenti. This is a short little sci-fi space opera novella. This is following our main character named Tetley. We're like in this like post-apocalyptic dystopian world where like all of the land has basically like flooded. Like there's no land on Earth anymore. Everyone that is still remaining on Earth is living on this like floating pieces of like garbage combined together basically, and there are different like neighborhoods. It's called Garbage Town. I don't know if there's more than one like giant piece of trash floating around. In any case, we have Garbage Town where Tetley lives, and there's like different neighborhoods that each have their own little quirks depending, I guess, like on the type of garbage that's most prevalent in that area. So she lives in Candletown, the neighborhood Candletown, and it seems like there's like a lot of candles. There's Electric City that still has a little bit of electricity, and so on and so forth. And we're following Tetley, who is the most hated person in this world right now for reasons, but she says that she's the most beloved girl. She is just so filled with this endless optimism, but like underneath you can tell there's like this simmering like loneliness and anger, but she tries so hard to just live so optimistically. It's so curious to watch. This has such an interesting writing style and voice. This is a very voice heavy book, and I think if you don't vibe with the voice, you're not gonna like it because it's a very like voice heavy writing style. It feels a little bit young and naive, but also not. I mean, we're following Tetley at various stages. Where I'm at right now, she's 29, so she's like an adult, and I think I can tell that there's like a little bit more growth in her voice there. But in any case, so far we're just kind of learning about her life and this world and kind of how she came to be the most hated person in this world. And I think something is going to happen in this latter half. I'm about 40% of the way through this book right now. So yeah, it is so interesting. It just immediately drew me in. I think I could really go either way a lot of the times with like very, I don't know, like little weird little book type of books. Books that are a little bit weird, very voicey kind of books. I can really go either way. It either bothers me or it really works for me. I've found that it's not very much in between with these types of books, but this is working a lot for me and I'm really liking it. So I think I'm gonna finish it tonight and I will come back to you with my final thoughts. Hello, I am in fact wearing the same shirt that I think I wore in the last clip of this video, but it is like a week and a half later. So different time, obviously the hair is different, different outfit, okay? In any case, I realized that I never gave you my final thoughts on The Past is Red. So here I am a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks later. So I think I've landed on giving this one a 4.5 stars. I think it has the potential to be a 5-star on a reread. I really, really liked this book. I liked it a lot. I think it did so much in such a short amount of space. And a lot of the things that I said before have remained the same. It's a very voicey book. the main character has like a very distinctive voice, and I think that if you don't like it, you're not gonna like it. But if you do like it, you're gonna like it. Wow. Truly, truly riveting words there. But I liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was so interesting to see how it sounded like so kind of young, even though like we watch her grow up. But like you can't actually see like this kind of loss of youthful optimism as she gets older. But the optimism is still there, despite everything that's happened to Tetley, despite all the bad things that have happened in her life. She still remains optimistic. She still loves the current world that she's living in. She's not dreaming of a better future because she knows that it's kind of fruitless. So she's just happy to accept, I guess, her lot in life and just make the best of it and be happy with what she does have, which is just so interesting to see. This book did make me emotional at some points, especially at the end. I just thought it was so good. I was just really impressed with how the author was able to just make such an impact in a less than 200-page book. I mean, less than 150 pages even. Catherine M. Valenti is definitely an author that I'm going to read more from. I think I mentioned that I read Comfort Me with Apples by this author, which I really liked too. I also thought it was a very unique writing style, a really unique novella. So I definitely want to check out more from Catherine M. Valenti in the future. I just thought this was really good. I also think if you're someone that really likes climate fiction adjacent books, I think you'll also like this. I think it's a very interesting addition to the climate fiction genre. I think those tend to be a little bit more literary. This one definitely is more sci-fi-ish. So yeah, highly recommend this one. This one was a hit. I'm glad, especially because I DNF'd the last story of Mina Lee. So this is giving me some hope. I have 2 more books left. I don't know which one I'm going to read yet, but I will come to you once I've started the next book and have some thoughts. Hello, it's me. I'm here many, many days later, weeks later, in fact. When did I even finish The Past is Red? I don't know. 2 weeks ago? I'm here, though, to continue this video. I'm going to be reading the next book, which is going to be Women Eating by Claire Coda. This is going to be interesting because I literally just finished reading Rouge by Mona Awad yesterday, and I feel like these, like, they're similar books. I feel like they're both a part of the, like, sad girl literary fiction subgenre. I feel like both of them are dealing with similar themes, so it'll be interesting to go back to back with both of these books. My phone is blown up. So yeah, I'm excited though. I feel like I'm still kind of like in that mood of like weird literary fiction, so this is good timing for me. And yeah, I don't I don't have much to say right now. I'll come back when I've when I have something to say about this book. I have Water Dancer left as well, which I'll get to after this. My plan for today is mostly to just read. I'm kind of hoping I can finish this today. It's not very long, but I have some other things I need to do, like edit some videos, and maybe cook, meal prep. I don't know. I should probably order my groceries. I'm all over the place. I spent most of my day yesterday in Seattle for the Pros Before Bros book club meeting. It was so much fun, but I did not get home until like 1 a.m. I didn't go to bed until like 2 a.m. So I'm tired today and my voice sounds kind of rough. So yeah, I'm going to be looking like this. And I'm still in my pajamas. My hair is wrapped. I have my glasses on. This is the vibe for today. In any case, I'm gonna go read now and I'll come back to you when I have more thoughts. Hello, I have finished Woman Eating by Claire Coda. I have not updated you guys at all while I was reading it. To be honest, I just didn't really have many thoughts while reading this book. I found it to be such a slog to get through. I wanted to DNF this so bad, but I pushed through because I already DNF'd a book for this video and I just wanted to get through it. And it took me like a week to read. This book is only around 250 pages. It should not have taken me that long to read, but I just did not want to pick this one up. It was just, it was really difficult to get through. I found it to be extremely boring. It was such a labored experience that I didn't enjoy. So this is following our main character, Lydia, who is a vampire. This is literary fiction. I would classify this as a part of the sad girl lit fic canon with like a speculative twist. So there are vampires. We're not really getting an explanation about the world building or like how these vampires really came to be. It's definitely just used as a vehicle to explore some themes, but I don't think it really did that very well. In any case, we're following Lydia, who's a vampire. She's been a vampire for her whole life. Her mother's a vampire and got pregnant with her. Again, don't ask me about the mechanics of how that occurred. It's not explained, but Lydia is born and she's very sick as a baby. So her mother turns her like when she's only a couple days old. So she grew up a vampire and also like and grew. And then I think when she reaches a certain age, her aging is like slowed down. Once again, don't ask me about the mechanics of how any of this works. Clearly that was not the focus of this book. But she grew up with her mother, who has so much hatred about the fact that she's a vampire and feels like it's a punishment and only really allows them to drink pig's blood because she thinks that pigs are unclean, and because they're damned, they can only have the worst things. Basically, she really hated being a vampire and really pushed that onto Lydia. And eventually her mother, I don't know, is suffering from dementia, which also doesn't really get explained. Lydia keeps saying that it's not like actually dementia because she's a vampire. Some maybe like mental health thing is going on. In any case, she puts her in like a home situation and then kind of goes off. She's just graduated from college. She got this internship at this art gallery. She's an artist. And then we're just kind of following her, going to this art gallery and then meeting this guy at the studio that she works/lives in and all that stuff. Like, not much is going on. It's very clear that this book wanted to explore themes: identity, being a woman, assault, misogyny, eating disorders, I think. It's just really, it's interesting. And I feel like this could have been a really good book, but I just don't think the author did a good job of exploring really any of these themes. They're just like touched on so quickly and then left behind. Like, I don't really understand what the author was trying to say or do with these themes. And even if she wanted it to just be kind of an open-ended, you take it as you take it, I don't know, it was just very difficult to get through. It was very boring. I really didn't like this one. I'm giving it a 2 stars. I think it's interesting because right before I read this, I had read Rouge by Mona Awad, which is kind of like similar sad girl lit fic with a little bit of a speculative or like weird twist, with a biracial or multiracial main character dealing with a lot of similar themes actually, but I think Rouge was much more effective than this book was. But yeah, I didn't love this. So far, I've only really liked one book. We have one more left, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's a winner. I am filming on my phone because I'm too lazy to get up and get my camera. I'm looking at it right now. I cannot get up. You're getting this angle because I don't want to be fully looked at right now. In any case, I have started the final book for this video, which was initially going to be The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates. And I read a couple pages and I was like, my head is not ready for all of that right now. So I did a last minute pivot and decided I was going to read an autobiography of Skin by Lakeisha Carr. And I didn't realize that it was like 3 short stories. I don't know if they're going to be connected to each other somehow or just like thematically connected, but I finished the first story. It was only about 30 pages. It was about this woman who misses her mother who has passed away, and she's feeling mostly discontent with her life. She's not really like, her relationship with her husband is kind of like stagnant. Like they're just like together. They're just like following life's routine, you know, like they don't really have passion for each other anymore. And they're older too. And really like where she comes alive is in this like gambling house situation. And she just feels like really connected with the people there. I don't feel much passion towards that story. Like I thought it was well written and I feel like I understand what it was trying to go for, but I don't know. Like if I had to give that story a star rating, I'd give it like a 3 stars. So I'm going to continue reading. I'm not going to lie, I'm fighting a slump so hard right now. And I also kind of wanted to DNF this book, but I already DNF'd the book for this video. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to finish this. I am. Hello. I have finished an autobiography of Skin, meaning I finished the last book for this video. So let's talk about this. How did I feel about this? I think I'm going to give it like a 3 star, which feels kind of generous. But I liked it more than A Woman Eating. But not by much. So, like I said in the previous clip, this is actually 3 short stories that are interconnected. It's set in the same like town. All of the people like are connected to each other in one way or another, whether they're friends or siblings or something like that. And the second story I think is by far my favorite, although it is extremely depressing and harrowing. It's basically following this woman who she falls in love with this man. They get married. We're kind of learning about their relationship, and she gets pregnant. She's always really wanted children, but she had 2 very, very difficult pregnancies that kept her bedridden for the majority of each pregnancy. Like the delivery was really hard, the recovery was really hard, and it's clear that she is experiencing some post-traumatic stress after her second child. And she is watching a lot of the news and constantly hearing about Black people, Black children being murdered by the police or in racist and violent incidents. And it's like really mixing with her post-traumatic stress. Hi, I keep saying post-traumatic stress. What I meant to say was postpartum depression. So I just wanted to clarify that. And she's feeling so scared and like really is feeling desperate to protect her 2 sons, and goes to very extreme lengths to protect them in a way that kind of ends up harming them. So we're just kind of reading about that. Like I said, it's very harrowing, but I think it was well done. And then the final story was the longest, although I don't feel like it should have been as long as it did. I kept thinking that it was about to end and it just kept going. It's following multiple women of this family, but we're mainly in the perspective of this one woman. She's visiting her great aunt, and her mom is there and her grandma is there, and the mother-in-law of her great aunt, her husband had just died under mysterious circumstances, if you catch my meaning, and she's staying with her and her husband is also dealing with a lot of health issues, and the mother-in-law clearly was being abused by her husband that died under mysterious circumstances, and she's kind of being like haunted by him. And our main character and her grandmother like have this sight. They can kind of see ghosts. This is magical realism. Like, none of this is like super explained or anything. It definitely is used as a vehicle to tell the story, but they have this sight and they have to eventually perform a seance to get rid of this guy, this ghost, and they're all like dealing with their trauma and healing from their trauma and all that stuff. I thought it was okay. It was fine. I'm kind of disappointed because I kind of went into this with kind of high expectations. I think the writing is good. I would definitely check out another book by this author, but this one just didn't super land for me, and I didn't love the formatting. Like, I'm not a big short story person to begin with, or like short story collection rather. I can dig a short story on the occasion, but it just didn't feel as cohesive to me as I was expecting it to be. So yeah, 3 stars, I think. So that brings us to the end of this video. I read 3 books, DNF'd 1. I had a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4.5 star in the DNF. The winner for me here is The Past is Read by Catherine M. Valenti. And I think it's just like really interesting to see like the range of books that Amory picks for her book club. There is definitely some variety there, and I can kind of see like maybe what her reading style is. I also don't know. I know with celebrity book clubs, they're usually picking books that they've already read, is my understanding. I don't know if that's the case with Amory or if she's like reading this along with everyone every month, but yeah, it is curious. Unfortunately, this was kind of a dud for me. Sorry, Amory, I still love you. But yeah, there was only one clear winner for me. The rest were kind of So yeah, I guess I will see y'all in the next video. I will be continuing this series. I'll pick another celebrity book club to read, and we'll see how this experiment goes. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.